Alaska's continuously operational referencing network, right?
Alaska's continuously operating reference network
Reference
is
network, yes. And that is helping the land surveying market. So how are you implementing that?
this is what I do now. Acorn is my full-time job. Am I'm not doing anything new. There are continuously operating reference networks all over the lower 48, the Washington reference network, the Minnesota network. These things have been around for like 20 plus years. If you probably read articles by Gavin Schrock all the time. Gavin is, if you ever see Gavin's name, Gavin is the operator of the Washington reference network. I'm essentially just trying to replicate what Gavin is doing in Washington. It sounds really easy, but Alaska is a massive and very remote place. So we have limited GNSS cores. We have limited resources and as far as GNSS is concerned. My job is creating a statewide continuous reference network where we can have real-time GPS corrections provided over internet. Again, just like all of, I think Mesa County has a reference network in Arizona. I don't remember. I did a lot of research when I first started to see how much people were charging for different things. But Alaska has very little GNSS resources. The lower 48, you probably can find a cores every 20 to 30 miles in most of the lower 48. That's just simply not the case here. So now we got all this money, but not all this money. I got a one-time fund of $5 million from the first round of COVID relief money. I believe it was the Americans for Recovery Act, but it was back when the first round of COVID relief money came to the States. So we got some of that money in Alaska. I'm trying to fill in all these gaps of GPS coverage. I'm trying to put a cores every 70 to 100 kilometers throughout Alaska. That's a huge undertaking. We think that by the time we're all said and done with this project, we make partnerships with existing people, and then I'm making partnerships with the DOT and many other organizations to use existing infrastructure to install new reference stations on, either at a building or somewhere where I can preferably use their power so that I can kind of save on these like long-term operational costs. Because if I have to drop power somewhere and then pay a power bill, I'm planning on installing a minimum of 70 of my own reference stations
Mm,
to supplement the network, the existing stations that we can bring in and use their data. So in the long run, we think we'll have somewhere between like 140 and 150 reference stations. And a lot of places have more than that, but because of advances in technology, now they're saying we only need to put them every 70 kilometers if we're going to make a virtual reference network. And so before that was like 30 kilometers. So again, because of advances in technology and better processing and computing power and all those things, we can spread out the stations so we don't need to buy quite as many of them. And, I'm trying.
mhm.
I worked very hard at this. It is, like I say, it's my only function now. I've been doing it for 2 years, and so my first contract is going to be completed on time and slightly under budget. So I feel like it's going
Nice.
pretty well.